Before the break, we introduced you to Supreme Court Justice Bernadette Clark. She was the first woman in several prominent law positions in our region, including First Assistant District Attorney and Family Court Judge in Oneida County, and Supreme Court Justice and Deputy Acting Administrative Judge in the 5th Judicial District, which include Lewis and Jefferson County.
Those firsts mean something, not just to me and my family, of course, but they mean something to all the other young women who are out there thinking, hey, when's it going to be my turn?
In 2000, she decided that it was her turn. She ran for Family Court Judge, and no woman in her county had ever done that.
If you realize what it takes to put your name out there for election, it's brutal. The things people say, the names people called me, oh, she wears too much makeup, she dyes her hair, her skirts are too short. I mean, I heard it all. She's the Barbie doll that wants to be a judge, this and that. You have to have thick skin to do this.
Now, with the title Judge Clark, you know how that election ended. That judge title that started in family court in 2000 is something she says she's never taken lightly.
That's everything people want to hear. You're going to get your day in court. I'm the judge, you're going to see me, and you're going to tell me your story. And I'm going to listen carefully. And I've had lawyers say to me, wow, Judge, when you made your decision and recited the facts, I felt like you knew the case better than I did. That's the best compliment I could ever get, because I want people to know I considered every little detail, because the devil's in the details, really, when it comes down to this. How do you see someone testify, maybe for a few hours, and make a decision about how good a parent they're going to be? Isn't that really what we do? And that's a massive, huge responsibility. And I take it every day when I'm in court and I'm listening to testimony. I take it really seriously, because I'm making decisions about people's lives.
She explained that it's her life's timeline that prepared her to make those tough decisions.
Used what I learned as a prosecutor, and I applied it in family court and saved some kids.
Not only did Judge Clark bring her professional background to the family court, but she brought her personal background as well.
I went through a divorce myself, and people really related to that, because I was willing to share the fact that, hey, I sat in that chair. I know what it's like to have to have your children go with their dad for the weekend. I know what that feels like. So I think the fact that I was able to share some of that with the litigants in court, I think they were relieved that I understood where they were, what position they were in, and that I would be empathetic and sympathetic to where they were coming from.
That sympathy and empathy, she says, in the courtroom and in life, starts with the simple act of listening.
That is the number one thing you do as a judge. Similar to what you do is you're listening a lot, right? You're asking questions, which I did in court also, but you need to listen to people, because you learn much about their family. But I would always tell them at the end of the day, because, your children didn't want this. Don't put them in the middle of it. Your children have nothing to do with why you're sitting here getting divorced. Don't make them weapons. Don't weaponize their feelings and use them against the other parent. And I said, if you put your children first every time, you will be able to get along with your ex. And I think I had some success getting through to people in that way.
Judge Clark's time in family court dealing with those cases and people prepared her to once again take another giant leap in her career.
A lot of people don't realize this. Divorces are only granted in Supreme Court. And one of the main components of a divorce, and what is the most contentious, and what people argue about, and what people are more upset about, is how much time am I going to have with my children?
So in 2005, she decided to once again be the first woman to run for a seat, this time at the Supreme Court in the 5th Judicial District.
It really was a great platform for me, because I had just spent 5 years doing all these custody petitions in family court, and now I could use that knowledge to try to help people in Supreme Court.
Against all odds, once more, she wins 6 counties large, now making decisions in the 5th Judicial District of the Supreme Court, continuing on a larger scale, being that true and fair believer and enforcer of the law, leaving all personal bias or belief at the door.
On the same token, you step into the courtroom, you can't have that anymore.
Right. What I tell people is, when I'm your judge, everybody is on a level playing field. I'm a clean slate. Fill it in. You tell me your story through your attorney. You tell me your story. I will listen to witnesses, and I promise you that I will be fair and impartial. I will listen to everything, and I will weigh everything. The law is black and white. We always hear that. The law is black and white. But it's the gray area where you make your decisions.
That gray area being talked about now, perhaps more than ever.
In the headlines, we are seeing on a national headline scale things like Black Lives Matter and things for gay rights on the United States Supreme Court going through. Both things that I think are showing both the progression in our law and in some cases looking back and seeing how far we haven't come. And people are saying, is the law broken?
More on that after the break. And later, another first for Judge Clark.
A lot of judges, I heard, weren't going to do it. They just weren't going to. It was against what they believed in. I couldn't wait to do it.
More Made in Northern New York after these commercials.